We've witnessed the universe's birth, the rise and fall of Thanos, and explored shattered realities after the snap. But today, we are no longer looking at the past, we are focusing on the future. Welcome to the conclusion of this gigantic timeline. This is where it all connects. Captain America's political arc, the Fantastic Four's cosmic threat, and the multiversal war leading to the apocalypse. Avengers Doomsday. Let's be clear, this part is the most complex. It blends what you've seen, missed, or what Marvel overlooked, like Secret Invasion or She-Hulk, and what's not even out yet. And nice, I put the pieces of the puzzle together so you don't have to rewatch everything. We're in the final stretch before the multiverse ends, so get comfortable. You are, with Kevin Buckott, the favorite theorist of your favorite timeline, Générique. The beginning of the end. In early 2025, Jennifer Walters becomes She-Hulk during a hearing. She is recruited by a firm specializing in defending metahumans and takes Emil Blonsky's case, also known as the Abomination. He broke out of prison to fight in Macau. In London, Stephen Grant, who has dissociative identity disorder, is attacked by an Egyptian mythological creature and learns he's one of Mark Spector's personalities, also known as Moon Knight. Mark and Stephen work together to confront Amit's avatar, the soul devourer set on purifying the world. Both die on the mission and enter the afterlife, heading to Duat, the Egyptian underworld. By making peace with themselves, their soul is allowed to return to the world of the living to imprison Amit. Though Khonshu vows to free Mark from his avatar role, a third personality, Jake Lockley, emerges as Khonshu's new instrument. Meanwhile, Jane Foster, Thor's ex, can't beat her cancer. With no options left, she turns to New Asgard for help. With Mjolnir, though broken but still enchanted by Thor's protection, she gains the God of Thunder's powers and becomes the new mighty Thor. In spring 2025, the United States detects vibranium on the ocean floor using a device created by Riri Williams. Namor, whose people rely on secrecy and are overcrowded, threatens Wakanda with war unless they eliminate the engineer. Shuri refuses, and Namor strikes back by attacking the capital of Wakanda, killing Queen Ramonda. Shuri then synthesizes a new heart-shaped herb, becomes the new Black Panther, and confronts Namor. Their duel ends with a fragile truce, enforced peace, and a possible alliance against the world if necessary. M'Baku becomes Wakanda's new leader, while Shuri discovers her brother T'Challa had a son, young T'Challa Riri, who designed armor in Wakanda, is barred from retrieving it, and returns to the United States. 5 months after Hawkeye, Maya Lopez escapes Kingpin's revenge and hides in Oklahoma on her ancestral land. As she uses her tribe's talents to reintegrate, Fisk finds her, forgives her, and asks her to return to New York. Maya refuses. And during their confrontation, she develops mysterious powers inherited from her ancestors, allowing her to make Fisk relive his own traumatic childhood. Terrified, the Kingpin returns to New York, where he now plans to run for mayor to consolidate his power and fight openly. In summer 2025, vigilante and metahuman Jennifer Walters handles multiple cases, gaining fame as the press dubs her She-Hulk. It is then discovered that there are a multitude of metahumans that no one had ever heard of before, such as, for example, an immortal man. During a trial, she meets Matt Murdock, opposing him in court and on the streets. Matt visits Los Angeles for a yellow suit, and their relationship becomes an affair. Then there's a family picnic where Hulk introduces his son Scar, who returned from his own world. The Abomination is returned to damage control for breaking probation. The series includes a meta scene where She-Hulk confronts her writers and meets Kevin, an AI running the Marvel Cinematic Universe. A sequence unrelated to the main lore, yet it introduces the Intelligentsia, a secret group aiming to create new Hulks. In fall 2025, Kamala Khan, a teen who admires Captain Marvel, gains powers from her great-grandmother's quantum bracelet. She was a Jinn, a clandestine from the Noor dimension, whose former companions are now trying to recover the bracelet to return home, even if it destroys our reality. The bracelets, probably of Kree origin, allow Kamala to travel through time, all the way back to the partition between India and Pakistan. There, she will save her grandmother, an ability that will probably become crucial in the future. Damage Control tries to stop her, but her community protects her. Kamala discovers the bracelets simply unlocked a power she already had. Like Namor, she's a mutant. Let's go back a few centuries. Gore, an alien living on a desert world, loses his daughter and, consumed by his despair, vows to exterminate all the gods. Thanks to the Necrosword, he spends centuries massacring entire pantheons. In fall 2025, Thor, now fit and with the Guardians, learns a god-killer is loose in the universe. When New Asgard is attacked, he finds himself with Jane, now mighty Thor, and Valkyrie. They go to Omnipotence City to ask for help from the other gods, but Zeus refuses. Zeus humiliates Thor, but Thor steals his thunderbolt and goes to face Gore. At the Gate of Eternity, a cosmic entity capable of granting a wish, Gore ultimately chooses love. He brings his daughter back to life, now imbued with the power of eternity. Jane dies from cancer and enters Valhalla. Thor adopts Gore's daughter, while a humiliated Zeus orders Hercules to avenge him. But a sequel now seems rather unlikely. Riri Williams, returning from the Watchtower, is expelled from Massachusetts Institute of Technology for her behavior and goes back to Chicago. There, she tries to rebuild her armor from spare parts when a criminal gang recruits her to take down an empire of new billionaires. Their leader is Parker Robbins, also called the Hood. He has magical abilities linked to his cloak, invisibility, and the ability to control the trajectory of bullets. And we'll learn later that he made a pact with Mephisto to get his powers. A Mephisto who, at the end of the series, will manage to corrupt Riri in exchange for the resurrection of her best friend. The end of 2025 marks a new era in the Marvel Cinematic Universe with the Bloodstone, an artifact that can harm Earth's monsters. We meet Elsa Bloodstone, daughter of a famed hunter and new stonebearer, along with Jack Russell, a werewolf, and Ted, known as Man-Thing. In New York, Foggy Nelson, Matt Murdock's best friend, is murdered by Bullseye on the orders of Vanessa Fisk to prevent his witness from revealing her activities during a future trial. Devastated, Matt steps away from being Daredevil to focus on his law career. On Nowhere, the Guardians of the Galaxy try to cheer up Peter, who remains heartbroken over losing Gamora. Drax and Mantis plan an Earth-style Christmas, and Peter learns Mantis is his sister. Nebula gives Rocket the Winter Soldier's vibranium arm. An absolutely inconsistent detail, but the Marvel Cinematic Universe asks us to accept the galactic tensions. We begin 2026 in San Francisco, where Scott Lang is now a celebrity. His book, Look Out for the Little Guy, is selling by the truckload. Cassie, now 18, works with Hank on a quantum realm telescope, while Hope leads PYM Technologies. But during a demonstration, the device malfunctions and sucks the entire family into the quantum realm. There, they encounter Kang the Conqueror. Exiled for years by his own variants, Kang needs PYM technology to shrink his time engine and escape. But the Langpim family manages to thwart his plan, and Kang disappears into a time rift now considered dead. Once safe and back in San Francisco, something still seems strange. The post-credits scene shows the Council of Kang meeting outside of time to address the exile's disappearance. They are preparing for the multiversal war. Months later, the Guardians of the Galaxy are attacked on Nowhere by Adam Warlock, sent by the High Evolutionary to capture Rocket, his creation. Rocket is badly injured and the team reunites. With Gamora now a Ravager, they aim to save their friend and stop the High Evolutionary's monstrous ambitions. This will be their last mission together. Nebula and Drax stay to lead Nowhere, Gamora goes back with the Ravagers, Mantis leaves on her own, and Rocket forms a new team made up of Adam Warlock, Phyla-Vell, Groot, Cosmo, and Kraglin. Star-Lord returns to Earth to reunite with his grandfather, with a final card revealing he'll be back in Westview. 3 years after WandaVision, Agatha is still trapped by Wanda's spell, until the day Billy Kaplan. Agatha is still trapped by Billy's spell. He frees her and takes her to an improvised coven on the Witch's Road, a pocket dimension he created using powers much like his mother's. His goal is to find his brother Tommy, who has also been reincarnated. On this journey, he literally meets Death, who comes for Agatha at the end of the series. Agatha dies, then returns as a ghost. So she and Billy set out to find the boy, who is Tommy reincarnated. Late 2026 marks a low point in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Secret Invasion. Nick Fury is confronted by his past. After leaving Earth to join the Saber Base, he must face a rebellious Skrull faction that has infiltrated the heart of human institutions. After the assassination of Maria Hill, he receives help from Talos and his daughter Guya in a desperate strategy. Guya absorbs all the DNA of the heroes present during the Endgame battle and now possesses their powers. She also becomes a Super Skrull, which allows her to triumph over Gravik, the leader of the insurrection. She is recruited by British Secret Services. Traumatized by the Skrull attack, the American president declares war on all extraterrestrials. But since Marvel Studios acted like this series didn't exist, it had little impact. Meanwhile, Miss Marvel finds a bug in her quantum bracelet. When she uses her powers, she switches places with Monica Rambeau or Carol Danvers. Since Carol's intervention on Hala, the Kree Empire has collapsed. Their planet is devastated, their air and water polluted, and their sun dying. The destruction of the Supreme Intelligence plunged the Kree into civil war and ecological agony. Carol then inherits the fitting title Annie Latrice. 30 years later, Darben, a Kree accuser, seeks to rebuild her empire by stealing resources from various galactic civilizations, including the last Skrull colony. After taking their supplies, New Asgard accepts the refugees and becomes a home for galactic peoples. Darben uses the other quantum bracelet, Kamala's twin, and brings both bracelets together. This allows her to open a breach to another universe, causing an incursion capable of destroying two realities. Monica then uses her power to stop the catastrophe, but remains trapped. On the other side, she is saved by the X-Men of Universe 1005, including a version of her mother who possesses the powers of binary, an extremely powerful variant of Captain Marvel in our universe. Carol Danvers finally sets out to right the wrongs she caused to the Kree and returns to live on Earth, while keeping Darben's quantum bracelet. Yes, Captain Marvel is truly the villain here, even if it's never stated outright. The movie acknowledges that she destroyed the Kree Empire in a brutal way, and that all the chaos that follows is a direct consequence of her actions. Marvel's political return at the end of 2026 also marks a major turning point in American politics. Bullseye's trial occurs as Matt Murdock reconnects with Karen Page. At the same time, Wilson Fisk officially announces his candidacy for mayor of New York, an election he wins easily. At the same time, a new early presidential election is being held. President Ross is likely elected due to chaos from Secret, the Invasion, and President Ritson's actions. The year 2027 therefore begins with Cade taking office as mayor of New York. He wins the election by promising order and to eliminate masked vigilantes, especially Daredevil and Spider-Man. Matt tries to keep defending the innocent, but realizes that both the judicial system and the police are completely corrupted by Fisk. Frank Castle reappears and violently targets criminals and corrupt cops, eventually becoming a role model as the Punisher. Matt and Frank clash again, and a brutal serial killer makes Matt become Daredevil once more. Meanwhile, Fisk has built himself a new legal fortress in the Red Hook port, where only his law is the law. Daredevil decides to do everything he can to stop him and prepares a team for Season 2 of Born Again. In the spring of 2027, Sam Wilson is invited by President Ross to a grand ceremony. They debate how to distribute vibranium from Tiamut Island. However, mind control triggers infiltrated agents, including Isaiah Bradley, to try to assassinate the president. Ross suggests Sam form a new Avengers team, but Sam refuses. A global conspiracy then breaks out, revealing years of manipulations orchestrated by Ross. The situation nearly leads to war between the United States and Japan over Tiamut Island. Samuel Stern, the scientist who aided Bruce Banner in 2008, is secretly being held captive. For years, he advised Ross and promised to cure his heart issues, but Stern was actually poisoning him with gamma radiation. As a result, Ross transforms into Red Hulk and unleashes carnage at the White House. Sam Wilson stops him and has Stern and Ross jailed at the raft. Stern warns a multiversal war is coming. Sam then forms new Avengers without United States government approval. Ultimately, the Japanese secure adamantium rights. Thunderbolts continues right after Captain America. Valentina Allegra de Fontaine is no longer CIA director, but has started her own private paramilitary group, Oxy. She has spent years recruiting meta-human agents to hide the Sentry Project, which seeks to create history's greatest superhero. A government-backed product meant to replace the Avengers appears to have failed. Val is therefore trying to eliminate all the agents involved by sending them to kill each other in a laboratory in the middle of the desert. There we find Yelena, John Walker, Ghost, and Taskmaster. Only the first three survive and meet Bob, one of the subjects of the Sentry program. They manage to escape thanks to Red Guardian and Bucky. Barnes, a new congressman, excels at fieldwork over politics and chooses to lead the group against Valentina. Bob, in contrast, is not a failure but the successful experiment. A being with mind control, super strength, speed, invincibility, and atomic manipulation is easily the most powerful character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Arriving in New York today, the confrontation erupts in Avengers Tower, now owned by Valentina. But Bob is psychologically unstable, and Sentry has a dark side, the Void, which takes control and threatens to destroy everything. New York. The Thunderbolts unite, enter Sentry's mind, and save Bob together. They are introduced by Valentina Allegra de Fontaine as the new Avengers, a future not so far off before reaching Avengers Doomsday. A detour is necessary to Universe 1005, the one of the X-Men. In 2028, mutants are exploited by Essex Corporation. A new generation of young mutants is locked up in an institute where their DNA is manipulated. These are the New Mutant events. A movie that honestly has no effect on what happens next. A few months later, the Westchester events occur. Charles Xavier, the victim of an uncontrollable brain seizure, triggers a massive psychic wave in the mutant mansion. A disaster kills most X-Men and many nearby residents. a tragedy likely linked to Doomsday's events. The next year, Wolverine, with fading healing powers, tries to protect Charles near the Mexican border. This trauma reduces the remaining mutants to nothing. Essex, still creating new mutants, hunts the children who escaped his program, including Laura Kinney. Weapon X-20 Corporation, made from Logan's DNA, tries to bring its children safely to Canada, but Charlie Logan dies on the way. Universe 1005 loses its two pillars, leaving its unifier in silent chaos. In early 2029, we return to the post-credits scene of Thunderbolt and the Fantastic Four in Universe 828, where Doctor Doom meets Franklin and Sue Storm. Meanwhile, on Earth 616, the former Avengers Tower becomes the new Avengers headquarters. Sam Wilson is noted for forming his own team. And a space crisis seems to be brewing until Yelena spots a multiversal ship entering the atmosphere. That ship belongs to the Fantastic Four. This specific point tells us that Avengers Doomsday will take place at the beginning of 2029. Beyond that, we must rely on rumors and production hints. Vision Quest should take place a few months after WandaVision, but its ending would offer a time jump. Season 2 of Daredevil Born Again will pick up after the series events, set around 2027, when Vision lives with Star-Lord and Billy and Tommy reunite with their father. A Punisher special would follow, set immediately after or in parallel. The Wonder Man series leads into Doomsday, while Spider-Man Brand New Day occurs just before or during Doomsday at the end of 2028. That's everything for this huge timeline. Friends, I sincerely hope you enjoyed the journey and that now things are much clearer for you in this universe that's overflowing with gold. These videos mean you don't need to rewatch everything. It's all here. If you'd like to support my work, please subscribe and share the video. It means a lot. An updated version will air right before Doomsday. Don't worry, I'll see you next week, same day and time for a new video. Meanwhile, stay curious. That's the secret. Bye.